So good morning. Welcome to Wellspring. It's nice to see you all. And we have some new folks here today too, and welcome to them. And we have some old folks that, sorry, previous folks. Yeah, I should have, never mind. You know how it is. We get it, yeah. Mature seniors, yeah. So anyway, how did I suddenly lose control of everything? Ah, yes. Bring in the laughter, bring in the joy, bring in the love. So my name is Edward Burlbaugh, and I'm part of your Sunday service team today, and I'm happy to be here on the podium, kind of emceeing for a while and introducing our new speakers, our today's speaker at least. So we have a few announcements first. We'll get these up on the screen here, but most of you know these by heart. Early Birds meets on Sunday mornings at 9:30 via Zoom, and a link is in the weekly email and on the website. We also have a couple of stations here at Wellspring. In the social hall, the far back office, we have a station set up. Edwin usually mans that station, and we have room for a couple, 3 chairs that you can sit there and enjoy. If you get more than that crowd, you probably can't be heard very well. But anyway, you're welcome to join us if you don't want to get on Zoom. We have a few folks that do get on Zoom, and then we knock off at about 10:25, and they drive their way over here for a Sunday service. So we appreciate that too. And then the advantage of Zoom, of course, is that Jim and Dean, who are summering in Colorado, as they do every summer, they can get on Early Birds as well. And today we had James and Jan were on, and he had a unique backdrop today because he just had to go back into the hospital for a little procedure, but all is well. He's recovering nicely. So anyway, our speaker today is Reverend Sandhi. Hey, hey. And next Sunday, it may be Reverend Kamatara. Her father just passed yesterday, and so she, depending on when the service is and so forth, she may have to run up to wherever it is, Minnesota or something for that. Wisconsin? I'm glad somebody knows, yeah. Or remembers. That's the key. Anyway, so we'll see. If she's not here, then I'll be speaking. And then on the 25th, I'll be speaking as well, for sure. So I think on the 18th, if Reverend Kamatar isn't here, then I'll be speaking on It's All Small Stuff. No, yes, don't sweat the small stuff. There we go. That was the first part. And I think on the 25th, I'll be speaking on sort of a takeoff on spiritual alchemy, talking about turning lead into gold from my perspective, even though in our Thursday afternoon or Thursday evening group, we've been listening to a much more detailed presentation of that. So moving on through the slides that are trying to control my time here, we have Lunch Bunch meets this Wednesday, 11:30 at the Cracker Barrel. And last month we ended up not having it just because everybody was drawn in different directions. But frequently, Shirley's kind of the central point for that, if you don't mind being that again. I haven't been able to attend since I started working again, so that's the way it goes. And also this Wednesday, the Board of Trustees will meet. We meet at 7 o'clock. Is that right? Yeah, you know how it is. I'm trying to read these, and you guys have the real poop there. So 6:30, yes. Yeah. So anyway, you can check with me for the Zoom information, and you are all welcome, invited to attend as we do the business of our beloved Wellspring. Our Thursday evening group continues to meet here in the social hall. I hope that says 7 p.m. It does, okay. And you can talk to either me or Cleona for getting the Zoom for that. And again, we have folks from out of state, well, that are on that, and we have a group that meets in the social hall as well. So there's a room up front here. Okay. And that's where we're listening to and watching a video on Gaia. So our labyrinth is slowly coming along, and thank all of those who have contributed rocks so far. And if you want to help contribute to that, we're not building it yet, but we are collecting rocks, and we're setting them out here on the edge of the pergola. They need to be about 6 or 8 inches in diameter. You know, 2 or 3 you can probably fit in a shopping bag, and it doesn't feel too big. If you got anything bigger than that and you need a front end loader, it's probably too big. So, yes, and we have just wanted to fit this announcement in that Jamie Gibbard's memorial service is Saturday, October 31st at 1:30, and it's at the UU Church. Okay, Saturday, August 31st at 1:30. And that's the UU Church over there on Solano. And lastly, our prayer team remains ready to serve and support you. And you may submit a prayer request. We have forms in the back of the sanctuary here. Fill one out and give it to me. And I attend the prayer group at 4:15 on Tuesday afternoons. And a group from all the congregations of Wellspring, CSL and Heart of Las Cruces, Unity and Unity of El Paso all meet on Zoom. And we do the prayer work for our individual and collective community members. And that's at 4:15 on Tuesday afternoons. And if you put your name on the prayer list, you might consider sitting in your quiet space at 4:15 on Tuesday afternoons and just allow that power of prayer to come in and through you at that time. Because we know that we are one in spirit and the energy of prayer knows no limits. So with that, we will have our invocation. So as we just take a moment to acknowledge that one great spirit that is here in this sanctuary at this very moment, that presence we acknowledge particular at this time, but we know is always with us, always activating our spirit because we are not separate from it. So we just bring forth that acknowledgement to right here, right now, and know that this service is truly blessed, and everyone that is watching it here in person on Zoom and later on is also truly blessed. And so it is. So please stand now if you are able. And we'll be singing our song of joy. And I hope somebody with a strong voice is going to jump in here and kind of make sure we all sing it right.
We are.
I think everybody knows the song. We're going to have our trio here.
Wow.
All right. That'll bring your energy up, won't it? So let us read together our vision, mission, and affirmation. So our vision, to elevate spiritual consciousness in our world. Our mission, to support individual spiritual quests through celebration, study, counsel, loving fellowship, and service. Our affirmation, I stand in the midst of the ever-loving Spirit and affirm that I am destined for spiritual greatness. My very existence uplifts my Wellspring community, my family, my friends, and the entire cosmos. Thank you. And now we have our special music today, Melody Burns. Hey.
Going on. Thank Barry and Edwin on our wonderful auto harp that we don't get to hear much anymore. I love auto harps. Weather just a minute. Seem to be okay. This song I've chosen today for many reasons, but one is because it's a favorite of our guest speaker. Open my eyes that I may see glimpses of truth thou hast for me. Place in my hands the wonderful key that shall unclasp and set me free. Silently now I wait for thee. Ready, my God, thy will to see. Open my eyes, illumine me. Spirit divine, open my mouth and let me bear gladly the warm truth everywhere. Open my heart and let me prepare love with thy children thus to share. Silently now I wait for thee. Ready, my God, thy will to see. Open my heart, illumine me. Spirit divine, mine mind is open now, I see fullness of truth thou hast for me, and in my soul that wonderful key opens the door and sets me free. Joyously now I wait for thee, letting my light illumine me. For in my heart thy will I see. Spirit divine. Thank you.
Thank you, Melody. Whew. Kind of gives you the spiritual goosebumps when she sings that. So today's reading is actually from August 2024, Science of Mind. As a matter of fact, it's from yesterday. And it's called The Beginner's Mind. To know is to be ignorant. To not know is the beginning of wisdom. That's Krishnamurti. Ernest Holmes said, should all the wisdom of the universe be poured over us, we should yet receive only that which we are ready to understand. And this next is taken from a writing by Reverend Sally Robbins. It was published in April of 2020. And she writes, John Randolph Price relates in a spiritual philosophy for the New World how a woman at one of his retreats asked him for advice about the challenge she faced. When he told her his answer, she replied, I already know that. Price writes, the truth is, if she really knew that, the challenge wouldn't have entered her life in the first place. He added, maybe it's time to bring some humility into our lives and admit that we do not have all the answers. And maybe it's time to start practicing the truth so we so eagerly share with others so that we can be the teachers of wisdom we were sent in to be. I vividly remember a time in my 20s when I thought I knew it all. Oh, the stupidity of youth. I had yet to learn that I had barely scratched the surface of the knowledge life has to offer. Today, decades later, I continue to marvel at how much I continue to learn. One of the hallmarks of spiritual maturity is the willingness to be a lifelong learner. The Buddhists call this Shoshin, which means beginner's mind. Whether we are learning a new language or we've been studying spiritual concepts for years, we keep our minds open and free of preconceived ideas. Shunri Suzuki wrote, in the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities. In the expert's mind, there are few. And with that, I want to introduce our wonderful friend and speaker, Reverend Sandhi.
Thank you, Edward. That was beautiful, wasn't it, everybody? Yeah. Well, good, glorious morning to everybody. I'm already full. I don't know about you, but I feel complete, really. So, bye. Thank you, Melody. That brought a lump in my throat because in August of 1977, I wore my handmade my best outfit living at the beach after I was dumped by my fiance for my sister in a town I'd never been in. I had my homemade drawstring pants and a beach t-shirt with a press-on butterfly, and that was my Sunday best at the time. And it was embarrassing because I was on a bike and I walked through the parking lot with all the Mercedes and the Jaguars and the Cadillacs and chained my bicycle to the fence, dashed through the patio because all these happy, happy people that irritated me. I was scared to death of them. So I ran into the sanctuary, and then that song was sung. And it's meant so much to me. So thank you, dearest, dearest Melody. You're just an amazing person. So the topic this morning is the Om in wisdom. Wisdom. The Hindu name for wisdom is Bodhi, which is my dog's name, and I love that word. And thank you, Edward, for the Japanese word for it. I've been very excited about this topic because it's such a beautiful word to me, wisdom. You know, it's the knowing that comes from the unknowing. And just by chance, I'd already chosen the topic, but last Saturday at what's Randy's last name? Randy Harris has a conversation circle on Maine and Las Cruces during farmers market, and he just sets chairs out, and you can just drop in and chat and toss ideas around. And he had this book, The Wisdom of Not Knowing. How many people know this book? It's awesome. Of course, I ordered it, and it didn't come till Friday, so I've been cramming. But it's written by Estelle Frankel, who's a scholar in the Kabbalah, and which I love because that's the mystic teaching of Judaism, right, Terry? Yeah, I took a class in Kabbalah and it blew my mind. But anyway, what she says about wisdom in the beginning, this is in the introduction, page 1. It was, if you want to know again, it's Estelle Frankel, Frankel. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing, Socrates, quoted in the Apology by Plato. The next one is, the further knowledge advances, the nearer we come to the unfathomable. And she says, this book is an exploration of the role of the unknown in our lives and a guide to reclaiming what I call the wisdom of not knowing, that deeper wisdom that emerges out of the silent, white spaces between the lines of our stories. And later on it says that the scholars that wrote the Torah leave a lot of white space between the sentences. And that's to go into it and assimilate it and see if it is something that is of value for you. It's so wise, isn't it? And they always say read between the lines. So I recommend this book. If you're interested at all in the Kabbalah or you know about it, she's brilliant. She's really brilliant. I can't wait to read the rest of it. So wisdom means, it's Hindu for in Bodhi, and the Book of Wisdom in the Jerusalem Bible includes books that the Protestant Bible deleted, the Apocrypha, and there's a Book of Wisdom, and it says wisdom is the internal teacher. Isn't that beautiful? That we have an internal teacher. We have intuition, which is wisdom. And it's accessible every moment we're willing. Like the key, I gave out keys of willingness one Sunday. And willingness opens the door for me. Am I willing to trust the silence? Am I willing to live committed to the invisible as I deal with the visible? I always say form comes from the formless and returns to the formless. Form, formless, form, formless. So if I'm entangled with form, I'm in a lower frequency. If I'm dedicated and experience that beautiful silence, the presence of the infinite energy that some call God, some call avatars. Anyway, the Book of Wisdom is in the Jerusalem Bible. The Jerusalem Bible is amazing. And if you don't have one and you want one, be sure you get the edition with the footnotes. The footnotes are fascinating. For instance, in the book of John, when it says the Word became flesh and dwelt among us, and there's a footnote. Hello. I love the way you say hello. Hello. Where was I? Footnote. Okay, so in the footnote it says he pitched his tent and lived among us. So it's just a fascinating Bible. And it has the book of Baruch and some other ones that have been deleted in the Protestant Bible. And I had a Bible study in my home in San Diego, and I co-hosted it with a devout Catholic. And he gave me this beautiful edition of it. And we just loved each other. It didn't matter that I was a minister and he was a Catholic. It didn't matter at all. It's that oneness that we resonate with, and we know people before we know them. It's like, oh, hi, Barry, I know who you are. We don't have to get to know each other, right? So let me see so I don't go off on tangents. In the Buddhist reading, well, before the Buddhist reading was the Upanishads. This edition of the 10 principal Upanishads was put into English by W.B. Yeats, which was really interesting to me. And he was part of the Vedanta Society in Los Angeles. If you ever go to Los Angeles, or you have been, the temple is absolutely beautiful. Right off Hollywood Boulevard. this beautiful grandstand. They have a huge Bodhi tree in the yard, and it has the 3 domes of a temple, and a bookstore that is dangerous. So this is from the Chandogya Upanishad, and it's a teaching that someone wanted to know the wisdom of life. And so Sanat Kumar said, wisdom is above meditation. Through wisdom, we understand the 4 Vedas, which are teachings, history, tradition, grammar, ritual, and all the other sciences, heaven, earth, wind, air, fire, men, gods, cattle, birds, herbs, trees, beasts, etc. Who worships wisdom as spirit, wisdom is spirit, attains all knowledge and experience, moves within the limits of its subject, as it may please him, provided he worships wisdom as nothing but spirit. Isn't that beautiful? Thousands of years ago. It's the same as New Thought, in my opinion. Okay, and the Buddhist reading was kind of interesting. I read it to Terry and asked her if she thought it was worth reading. And she said yes, so you get to hear it. Okay, for the July 30th, this is a daily reading book, Buddha readings, Buddha daily readings. And for July 30th, it said, great merit and wisdom flow from heightened awareness. Without heightened awareness, you cannot benefit sentient beings. Therefore, exert to gain heightened awareness. Do not be lazy. In the absence of transcendental wisdom, I love that, Ralph Waldo Emerson, transcendentalist. In the absence of transcendental wisdom, which is prajnaparamita, the mental distractions and emotional disturbances cannot be completely eliminated. So, to tune into wisdom is everything. And I can tell you this week, I had major miracles. 12 days ago, I was told I had to move from my sweet little adobe with a big yard in the hood near Klein Park. And it was upsetting. And I didn't know what to do because on paper, I'm 79 with 4 dogs on Social Security. I'm not a high, not high on the rental list. So it looked impossible. And so what I did is I wrote this. Thursday, August 1st, 2024. Joy Month. I dedicated August to joy. And it says, I said, are you kidding? When have I not had a miracle home? I've always had wonderful homes. It's just amazing. And then from My Utmost for His Highest, which is a daily Christian book that's really serious and deep. And it says, to wait is not to sit with folded hands, but to learn to do what we are told. And so I dedicated the month of August, because I had time to look, I dedicated the month of August to listen. And my only prayer when I started to go, I'd say, Holy Spirit, you are my all. Over and over and over again, I chanted, I prayed, I meditated, and I just got deeper and deeper. And I said, Holy Spirit, all I want to do is live where I can be closest to you. And then on August 9th, I had brunch with Reverend Jen Kleitz from Unity. And I said, I'm staying out of the facts, and I'm focusing on the truth. I just want to listen. I just want to be in the stillness and let wherever I'm going to emerge, whether it's New Mexico or Tahoe or Michigan, all places I love, whatever it is, I'm going. I'm just going to take my guidance from Infinite Spirit, from wisdom within me. Wisdom is within us, I believe. And so at lunch, I said, I don't know what to do. And I'm staying out of panic pretty well, but today I'm kind of contracted around it. You know, when you contract around a challenge, God can't get in with a crowbar. You're just holding it so tight that nothing can happen. Spirit can't get in. You're unavailable, doors closed. So I said, I'm having a challenge with staying, Holy Spirit, you are my all. And she goes, oh, we have a home in TRC and you can rent it. So I'm moving to Truth or Consequences. And it's a cute little old house. It's bizarre. I call it Frank Lloyd Wrong. That comes from my friend Gary when he was here. Yeah, so it's a charming old funky house with a huge fenced-in yard with a great big tree, and it's in the hills above downtown. Truth or Consequences. The 2020 census said there's almost 7,000 residents. Woohoo! So with all those hot springs, the energy of all the hot springs, the river, Lake Elephant Butte, all that water, I'm really looking forward to it. And it doesn't feel, it's hard for my dearest friends who are here that mean so much to me. It's hard to leave physically. Terry and Amy, it's really hard. But there's no distance in the heart, is there? And I'll be down for Wellspring, and I'll be down to dance fanatically with Raw Material Jug Band once a month at the Downtown Coffee. And I'm coming one Tuesday a month to continue. Tuesday is Amy Day. We meet at a meeting, and then she comes over, and we have lady drinks. They're non-alcoholic drinks in pretty glasses, and we share spirit. And, of course, not seeing Jack so much is tragic. So I had that miracle. And she said, what are you doing after lunch? I said, nothing. We went to TRC that day. And I got to see the house. And I said, it's in the hills. She said, well, your address is Poplar, which I love. And she said, and you're in Country Club Estates. I said, in TRC, I said, isn't that an oxymoron? I mean, I was raised in this fabulous valley, one hill over from Napa, and I was raised in a country club, and I mean country club. So my mother is rolling. So it was just hilarious to me. Yeah, it's just, huh? I said, is there a clubhouse? She says, I think so. I said, ugh. Because, TRC is my tribe. Artists, retired people, hippies. Those are my beats, and it is my tribe. So I can never say how grateful I am for 21 years in Las Cruces. And Wellspring is a highlight of my life here. I think the miracles came because I started speaking here. Because throughout the month, I think of a topic, and I behave better. Because I just want to listen and offer you something just for your consideration, not evangelizing, not saying I'm right, blah, not at all. I know nothing for anyone else, but I have been studying spiritual reading since 1977, and I study every morning from 4:30 to 7, and then my sponsee calls me. But this morning, because the next day, on Friday, Jennifer bought me a car. I haven't had a car for 5 years. This morning at 6 a.m., Bodie and I were out by the river. Terry takes me and Amy takes me. But we were out by the river at 6 a.m., and I put my feet in the river and sat on the grass and watched the sunrise. And just to have my feet on a dirt road, seeing Bodie have so much fun with the birds. There were cranes going by and ducks and sparrows and all kinds of cute little bugs. And have you seen periwinkle dragonflies? Ah, they're so special. They're so fashionista. Yeah. So anyway, that's my news. I have a car and I have a home. So, and I'm so glad I have a commitment here because it'll get me here. Because I can be a lazy person if I let myself be. So what is wisdom for you? That's what matters. It doesn't matter what I'm saying or what I'm quoting, what I'm presenting. What matters is that maybe you have a resonation with the word wisdom, which has Om in it. You have a resonation with that inner knowing. Like my childhood friend, I called to tell her I was moving. She goes, oh, yesterday I was thinking, I wonder if Sandhi wants to move to Truth or Consequences. She knows nothing about it. It was just intuitional. And she's been my friend for 69 years. Yeah, we've been close all that time. And she knew. Isn't that cool? I mean, it just went blah, blah. You know, if I just listened, it just emerged. And it wasn't like, wazoo. It was like, yes, this is the natural outcome. Truth or consequences means truth is truth. Consequence is a natural outcome. And it's cause and effect, isn't it? Truth or consequences. Plus a game show prize. I mean, that's hilarious. Hilarious. So anyway, those are my miracles. But what matters is your relationship with wisdom. That's what really matters more than anything. So your gift today is hoot, hoot, hoot. Owls. No? Okay. We forgive you.
Thank you.
So pick an owl. And then we're going to do a quick meditation. You already have yours, I know. Amy's usually first. I had so much fun ordering them. I think it's the best one in a while that I've given away. Yeah, be picky. Pick the one you want. We're not in any hurry. Good for you. So the owl, what does the owl mean to you? What do you think? Wisdom. One time during the AIDS ministry, we got a 3 a.m. phone call to go to see our friend die. He was actively dying. And right in the middle of LA in West Hollywood, we came out to drive to the hospital, and there was a big owl hooting. And Lynn Andrews is a friend of mine. She wrote Medicine Woman. She said, that means it's time to tell a story. So wisdom and tell your story, because it's important to tell your story, especially from the energy of your spiritual identification, not your driver's license. That's temporary form. That's just facts. Means nothing compared to spirit. Because remember, big S and little s, remember that? We are spirit and we are form. And when the form just rests and lets spirit rock it, it's peace. Just be in the big S, not the little s. Well, embrace the little s with love. That's important, I think. Some people say get rid of the ego. I think as long as I'm in the clod, you know, Ernest Holmes said at a memorial, he said, freed from the clod, home to God. So I call my body the clod. So as long as I'm in a clod, I think I'll have a monkey mind to deal with, you know, and just to befriend it. Like, we're going to give a talk today, Greta. What's your plan to ruin it? And then all the opposites come up, and I just say, okay, now I want you to ride the horse in the direction it's going today. And we're going to Wellspring. We're going to offer what we've learned about wisdom. And we're going to have a wonderful time. And Jackson just took Terry's chair. I love that dog so much. Okay, so you have your owl, and just hold it, if you will, and close your eyes. Thanks, Terry. Om. Would you join me? Om. Om. And Shanti means peace, and we'll say Shanti 3 times. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. You are spirit divine, and we take time now to really sense the spirit, which is one definition is wisdom. So holding your little owl, give a hoot about your life. Give a hoot about your spiritual spiritual identification, that you are spirit, and form is just something to move through. Everything's temporary that has form. Everything with a beginning has an ending. So you are the embodiment of wisdom. Just imagine how wonderful that is. And just saturate what you know to be the resonation of wisdom for you. Just breathe it in if you want. see it entering in the top of your head and filling your body, mind, and soul, bringing in you to conscious union with Spirit Divine. And again, deeper and deeper into wisdom. Trust. Just trust your inner intuition that is faultless. It's an inner guide. The Book of Wisdom says that wisdom is our internal guide. We have a guide within us we can depend on. It's so beautiful. And maybe see yourself walking through the week or just the rest of the day or this moment, because we only have the now. See yourself as walking wisdom. See yourself trusting the silence, spending time with it, communing with Spirit, letting factual thoughts float through your mind. Don't set the table and invite them to dinner. Just keep them moving through your mind, and welcome your spiritual thoughts, your spiritual wisdom, the knowingness. And once again, 3 ums and 3 shanti, shanti, shanti. Om. 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 Shanti, shanti, shanti. In closing, I want to acknowledge my sacred sister, Shirley Pickering, Shirley Angel Love, because she picked me up at 8 a.m. on Thursday, I believe. Wednesday. Anyway, Friday. I'll get it one of these days. Anyway, she picked me up and took me out to Chachi's for breakfast. I love that place. I hadn't been. It's just, and we had breakfast and we went to her beautiful, beautiful home and sat in her purple living room and just discussed A Course in Miracles. And that's the other thing that's made a difference. I joined the group. I wasn't there yesterday, but Edwin's in the group. And the wisdom in that book is just amazing. I'm just going to read one thing. I started 83 days ago when Marianne came, because I had this in a giveaway box. I wasn't going to have anything to do with it anymore. And she just inspired me. And I took it to her evening talk and she signed it for me. Yeah. So this is in italics, which means it's already channeled, but this means this is important. It says, I am here only to be truly helpful. I am here to represent him who sent me. I do not have to worry about what to say or what to do, because he who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever he wishes, knowing he goes there with me. I will be healed as I let him teach me to heal. And in closing, I'd like to just take a moment for Kamatara, whose father died, I think, yesterday. And she's recovering from a procedure and she's fine. But she asked me to ask for prayer for her. She's so very dear. We had a long visit last time she was here. And we've been talking since her life is changing too. So let's take a moment just appreciating Reverend Kamatara Johnson, the guest speaker here. Amazing, dedicated, dedicated woman to wisdom, a shining example of trust, love, and joy. We bless you, Kamatara. We love you, and we trust the power within you to guide you through this time. And so it is. So how about walking in wisdom this week? You want to? I guarantee you it produces miracles. It really does. So thank you for listening. It's been a pleasure to serve you, and I look forward to next month where I'll be driving down here in my new Nissan Rogue. Hallelujah. Thank you, everybody. It's been a pleasure. There's my boy. Oh.
Thank you, Reverend Sandy. I always love hearing you speak. Speaking of wisdom, so much wisdom comes through you, and I appreciate all of your, oh my gosh, the amazing amount of study that you have done in all religions and the way you honor all paths to God. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And while we are holding in prayer, I don't know if all of you have heard that our friend Emily Updegrove also passed this last week. She was, Shirley and I don't remember exactly, but she was definitely close to 100. And speaking of joy, yes, so hold Emily's family in prayer. This is a song that you'll be familiar with. It was, the tune at least, written in 1861. But my husband Bob rewrote the words, and I'm going to sing his words today. First sweet hour of prayer. Sweet hour of prayer, sweet hour of prayer, it is so sweet and so wondrous fair. The joy I've known that I'm your own gives peace to know that I share your throne. My meditation puts me near. My spirit tells me how to hear. And God and I share knowledge there whenever we enter sweet hour of prayer. The grace that I have come to share, the power of God when I am there, the warmth it gives my soul to bear, joins me and God in sweet hour of prayer. Our oneness tells me I am healed. Abundance is to me revealed. The joy of Christ does take me there when I join in sweet hour of Thank you.
Thank you, Melody. And let's give her another big hand. And also Reverend Sandy, thank you. So now it's time for our offering. And looks like Edwin is going to be here serving us for that. So as you bring the gifts forward. Some in the back. Edwin. Yeah, you're doing a fantastic job. So thank you, Spirit, for these gifts that have come through these wonderful, glorious beings that are sharing this planet with us. These gifts are more than just money, although the money does help our community. It helps Wellspring keep the lights on. And as you know, we give 10% of everything that we receive. We tithe that out to the larger community, mostly in Las Cruces. Although recently we did send a lot of money to the folks up in Ruidoso. So we give thanks for these offerings, and we bless them, know that they are multiplied just by the mere fact of being in the flow as we truly are. And so it is. Thank you, Edwin. So there are a number of folks, we've already thanked a few of those who've contributed to the service today, but there are folks who contribute to the production as well. And we have our stalwart helper in the back, Brenda. Thank you. Thank you for always being here and helping out with that. And Edwin and Barry, thank you both as well. And we thank you for joining us, those of you from Zoom land. We appreciate you being here. And so we'll leave the Zoom meeting open for just a few minutes after the service. If you want to unmute yourself and yell a howdy out, we'll try to respond to you. And the rest of us will be heading over to the social hall for some goodies and coffee that has been set up by Sharon. So we appreciate Sharon as well. So now please stand if you're able and read with me the benediction. And this will be followed by the peace song, for which we typically hold hands around a U shape around the sanctuary here. So first our benediction. Spirit in the midst of us is mighty. Joy, peace, and eternal life are our true nature and flow through us into the world. And so it is.